to the Batmobile. This could be the break we've been looking for.
Hello everyone out there in YouTube land. So today I'm going to be doing the final in a series of videos I've done honoring the memory of Adam West. Today I'm going to be doing a quick review of Batman 66 meets Wonder Woman 77 Chapter 1, so Issue 1. It was written by Jeff Parker and Mark Andrico. Pencils were done by David Hahn. The inker is Carl Cassell. The letterer is Wes Abbott. And the cover is done by Michael and Laura Allred. Cool. All of the colors and inks and, pencils and all of that is done by hand. Then it's done by real people. It isn't done by computer, so that's always awesome. I've noticed a lot of comic books these days, the inks are done by computer. So one thing I almost always check on in a comic book is whether an inker is credited or, an inker and a colorist. So let's see. So the cover, pretty cool. It's got Wonder Woman, her invisible flying vehicle, the invisible jet, and Adam West, Batman, slinging on there. He's got the Batcopter in the background with Robin piloting it, so that's pretty cool. So the comic book itself, getting into it, I really like it a lot. I kind of didn't think I would necessarily, because it is pretty campy, but I actually like it a lot. It's really, well, if you like the Adam West show, the Batman, TV show, you'll definitely like this comic book. And even if you don't, even if you just like Batman, it's really well written. And it's got a lot of great characters, you'll know. So starting out, for instance, on the first page, you've got Catwoman. And I mean, who doesn't love Catwoman? So it's Catwoman. She's got her classic look. And it's really in the spirit of the show because she's using her purr puns, like this will a purloined this, and this will be a perfect heist, and stuff like that. So anyway, she steals this book called Lost World of the Ancients, and she jumps out the window and gives it to the lady that hired her to do it. And it turns out that's Taylor Al Ghul, Ra's al Ghul's daughter, who's also a big-time character and villain in the Batman lore. So you got Catwoman and Taylor Al Ghul already in the first 2 pages. So that's a good sign. So she gives the book to her, and that's when Batman and Robin show up in the Batmobile. So that's always cool. And it turns out there was a silent alarm in the safe. And it tripped, so Batman knew. And he showed up, and Taylor jumps in the car and takes off, and they leave Catwoman to battle Batman and Robin. And she's not as good of a fighter as she is in newer comics, so they capture her pretty easily. Like, she isn't a big-time fighter or whatever, she's a really good gymnast and hand-to-hand person in the more modern comics, but, this is the real campy one. So basically what happens is she swings her claws at him and then jumps up on the window ledge, and Robin throws a batarang and it cuts the vine she's holding and she falls, and Batman catches her and wraps her up in his cape. So, it's kind of quaint, This book is, this whole series is like rated G. There's no blood or anything that I saw in it. Not in this issue for sure. So anyways, they capture Catwoman, and she has a piece of jewelry on her that she gives them basically as evidence, so they'll put in a good word to the cops for her. So they take it back to the Batcave, and the Batcomputer, which, probably uses punch cards, prints out the information. So they find out the League of Shadows is who that emblem on the jewelry goes to. Then they are researching that, and Batman's talking to Alfred, and they're like, oh yeah, I remember that time, and it has a flashback to the Wayne Foundation at his house, and he's a little boy, and they're having an auction there, and coincidentally Taylor and Ra's al Ghul show up. So he and Taylor are both children, and they're running around, kind of having fun, and they run into some airmen, and it's really cool. It's it's Wonder Woman, but the character Lynda Carter played, and Steve Trevor, and then another character, I forget who she is. She's like one of Wonder Woman's friends. So anyways, they're there, and that's pretty cool. And they run around, and it turns out that the airmen are there to see about some Nazis they think are there too. So they're all at this auction, and finally the book that Catwoman stole in the beginning comes up for bid, and Ra's al Ghul and the Nazi guy are bidding on it but they get outbid by this guy who's just a regular guy, but has a lot of money. So that's who was being robbed in the beginning. And Ra's al Ghul and the Nazi both confront him after the sale, and they want to buy it, but he won't sell, so they, pull out their guns and swords, and they try and take it from him. And Steve Trevor and Thomas Wayne both step in and are basically like, this isn't going to fly. But they're outnumbered and outgunned, so the kids are hanging back and watching, and then they see here, it's the last page, it's this full page, but they see Diana Prince transforming from the Air Force woman into Wonder Woman. So that's pretty cool. It means you have to read issue 2 to see Wonder Woman in action, but that's a way to do it. That's a well-written comic where it leaves you really wanting to read the second issue. And I definitely will read the second issue. Might be a little while until I do a review on it, though. I did like 3 or 4 Adam West videos recently, so I was thinking people might want something else on the channel too that they can watch. Adam West is awesome, but there's always more comic book stuff and DC stuff, so I will definitely be coming back to this series. I have a book from the main series, Batman 66, also I want to review, so somewhere down the line look for Batman 66 meets Wonder Woman 77 number 2 and Batman 66 number 30. And then my next video I have planned is going to be the top 20 Darwin Cook covers, and I've already got a lot of research done on that, so expect that in the next day or so. Alright, so that's all for now. Thanks for watching. We have a Facebook page. Just search for DC Fans United if you want to follow us on Facebook. And as always, thank you for watching.
End of line.